environment, we often put up this Gallup poll that is really stunning that shows that it is Barack Obama who led to the abject collapse in race relations in this country, which I find particularly fascinating and ironic, and it's gallows humor. But it is Obama's presidency that took race relations from like the high 70s and 80s, where everyone was like, it's fine, it's fine, we just get along, to like, no, it sucks between white and black people in this country. And how do you do this? Well, if you go back to the time right there, right at that moment when you saw a collapse, this was Barack Obama saying Trayvon Martin's my son, and then saying that an officer in Ferguson, Missouri, killed someone just because they were black. And then Michael Brown did nothing. And he was like, he was like an honor student. He's like the best. And of course that was untrue. And that actual super cycle leads to the collapse, like right here. And now we're witnessing like the horrible results of that, right?
Yeah. And it's something that I pray that black people, generically speaking or generally speaking, isn't cursed. And the reason I say that is because Barack Obama, who's half black, he's not fully black. Right. For some reason in our country, if you got to be deferred to black. But Barack Obama, even in his intelligence, his acumen in academics, his wife being educated, even an educated black man who was voted for twice has to rear the ugly head of racism and discrimination against white people. That man had no business saying Trayvon Martin was his son. He had no business going to Michael Brown's funeral when it was clear evidence that man didn't just execute him, because cops don't just execute people in the middle of the black neighborhood in the street. And so with him, he couldn't even fight the urge to come out and be divisive and push this narrative that America has been a racist country from the beginning. Benny, you and I both know this because we're intelligent individuals, that listen, who do you think helped Harriet Tubman in the Underground Railroad? White people. Who do you think abolished slavery? It wasn't black people. It was white people. Who do you think never owned slaves? It was people in the North. Who do you think won the Civil War? The North. Every single good thing that have happened for black people from the time they got to America was done by good white people. And it's ironic that we forget those people exist. Even to this day, good white people voted for the first black president. It wasn't black people. They don't have enough power to vote. So it makes me upset that this black man had an opportunity to say it's over, it's finished, it's done. We are one. We are united. But he couldn't end his compulsion. And that's why we are where we're at now.
He has a white mom, he has a black dad, and he said there's no white America or black America, there's just the United States of America. That's what he run on. And everybody was down with that.
Yes.
Yo, I didn't want to support John McCain. Can I just be can I be honest with you, Brandon? I didn't want to support John McCain. Okay, I ended up voting for him, but you hear that message. There's no red or blue America. There's just the United States of America. You hear that message, you're like, man, that's sugar on top, right? Like that sounds good. I like that. Maybe this is the guy that is going to take the Gallup numbers from the 70s and 80s to like 100%. Where there's no problems. And that's kind of where you want to live, a high trust society where there's no like major tribal, murder problem, right? That you have in third world countries. That's what we all wanted to live in. And he delivered the exact opposite of that.
But he could have done better.
Yeah.
He could have done better. All he had to do was be fair. All he had to do was call it for what it is. When a young black man is doing something he's not supposed to, Barack Obama could have changed the black community forever by not only being an example, but by holding young people accountable. Barack Obama came from Chicago, which is where most of the young men grow up to die in inner city violence. Barack Obama could have went there, could have deployed the National Guard, could have said enough is enough. Young black men need to stop killing each other. We're not going to make it if we don't survive our youth. We need to get these young people to stop going to Planned Parenthood and start having children. We need young people to start getting married to their wives and the women they're having children with so they can raise the next generation of people who prosper in America. He could have said it. He could have done it. He could have advocated, but he didn't. And now look at where we're going as a nation, and look at where we're going as a black community. It's getting worse and worse and worse. The smartest, the most intelligent, the richest, the wealthiest, the most prosperous black people in America are still silly. You got LeBron James to say that this country is so bad to him. And the dude is almost a billionaire. You can go to Jay-Z, you can go to Beyonce, you can go to Obama, you can go to Michelle Obama, you can go down the list. Every black politician on the Democrat side are nutty. And why? Letitia James, she could have been a great person who rose to a prominent position and prosecuted fairly. But instead, she's a nut job. And then you could have had Fonnie Willis. Fonnie Willis could have been an example in the black community. What's the other dummy that's in Congress right now that's the most ghetto woman I've ever seen? Jasmine Crockett. Jasmine Crockett has a law degree. She has a law firm. Jasmine Crockett could be an example for young black women to rise to the occasion and be an example. But instead, she ghetto and stupid. And we can go down the list, Benny. These so many people who have so many opportunities to change the narrative, not only to better America, but to change the perception of who black people really are. And then what do? Clarence Thomas, Byron Donalds, Thomas Sowell. The black community rejects them vehemently. These are sellout Uncle Tom coons. But instead, we should be celebrating them because these are men who have accomplished things that have never been accomplished before. Benjamin Carson. We can go down the list, Benny. I don't know what we're going to do from here. I pray to God that one day black leaders start rising up and saying, okay, we need to hold ourselves accountable. We need to hold our community accountable. When a young man stabs another young man in the heart, we need to be honest about this. Why is he bringing a knife? I lived in Frisco. We lived in Plano. Plano and Frisco are right next to each other. Why would somebody bring a knife in Frisco? That's like the wealthiest, nice suburb of Dallas, Texas. So that's the bigger issue, not just the stabbing.
Man, that's some real truth. You reverse it and you say, if Donald Trump had come out and said, Austin Metcalf could be my son, right? It was like, you'd say, huh? Like, it's all right, but like, is that really where we should go with this? And Obama, the kind of like, it's almost like begging for division. It's like, it's demanding a violent result is what you do. When you say something like that, it's incendiary, right? And you're going to push violent division. That's what this guy did. I mean, it's really evil. It's a total fraudulence. I'm glad you brought up Jasmine Crockett. Man, she's very entertaining. She recently said that black people shouldn't be farmers. Because of slavery, I guess. Do we have the clip line? Okay, can we just play like 10 seconds of it?
So I had to go around the country and educate people about what immigrants do for this country, or the fact that we are a country of immigrants.
Right.
The fact is, ain't none of y'all trying to go and farm right now.
Okay. All right. Okay. Great. Okay. It was very smart. They're not sending their best, in the words of President Trump. No.
Oh no, they're
she's a star. They're saying she should run for president, Brandon.
I know this is where, like, and I'm being honest, this is where like white people that don't get exposed to a lot of black people, why they think black people are nutty. She's an example of a black woman. And if you've never seen a black woman before, you never engaged with a black woman, and you see one for the first time that's in Congress and she have a law degree, and you're like, this is how black people act. It's such an embarrassment. She's the dumbest woman on planet Earth for saying that black people don't want to farm. Maybe you should farm. You know what? Black people came from farming. My entire, all the way back to my great grandfather was a farmer. He owned his own land. They had like 15 kids. You want to farm. You want to be controlling your own production of food and resources. What stupid person will say, we don't want to farm no more. We gonna let the Mexicans be slaves. That's what she said. They let them do it. We ain't picking cotton no more. Picking cotton. Back when slavery was around, there were black people who were free. There were black people who had plantations. There were black people who owned land and could vote. And those black people didn't have no problem picking cotton and making money on their own terms. Now, some of them obviously were slaves, but there were black people that owned slaves too. So producing and making money with your own hands isn't a slap in the face to black people. And this is why black people in this country are going to be extinct. And when I say extinct, I'm saying extinct from power, because Hispanic people are willing to come over here and can't even speak English, Foreigners will come here, can't speak English. Other Hispanics who can't speak English in this country don't mind working hard. And they're going to do all the jobs that black people used to do that didn't have a high level of education. So they're going to push out all the black people. They're going to either be poor or they're going to be in the middle class. And they're having more children than black people are. They're marrying each other more than black people do. And I'm telling you right now, Benny, I'm making a prediction. We've seen that black women voted for Democrats at 98% and still lost in a landslide victory to Donald Trump. You give it 5 more years or 10 more years, with the abortion rate being the way it is in the black community, with the murder rate being the way it is in the black community, with the obesity rate being what it is in the black community, all of the ailments in the black community, with dummies like Jasmine Crockett not acknowledging them, black people are not going to be relevant whatsoever politically. The next majority minority are going to be Hispanic. And when the votes come out, we saw the Democrats do this, Benny. They were speaking in Spanish when they were running for office, wasn't they? They were speaking in Spanish, trying to get the Hispanic vote. What's going to happen is that Hispanics going to have such a high population that black people are going to vote 100% for Democrats and still lose every electoral vote in the popular vote. And they're going to wonder what happened to us.